Go find another table. The clatter of silverware stopped dead when my daughter-in-law, Claire, leaned across the polished mahogany table, her voice slicing through the hum of family chatter. Go find another table, she said, her lips curling into something not quite a smile. Her eyes, sharp as broken glass, locked onto mine. The room, our sprawling dining hall, lit by the warm flicker of a chandelier, froze. My son Mark stared at his plate, his knuckles whitening around his fork. The rest of the family, aunts, cousins, my wife, all held their breath as if the air itself had turned brittle. I laughed, a nervous bark, hoping it was a joke. Claire, what? But she slid a folded piece of paper across the table, the kind of deliberate move that made my stomach lurch. It wasn't a note. It was a bill, $3,850, itemized down to the last cent for the catered dinner. Your share, she said, her voice cold as the November wind rattling the windows. The family's eyes darted between us, forks hovering, mouths half open. I felt the weight of their stares, the heat creeping up my neck. Betrayal doesn't always announce itself with a lover's perfume or a hidden text. Sometimes it's a bill, a public shaming, a calculated strike to unravel everything you thought you knew. I'd always sensed something off about Claire, though I buried it under excuses. She was polished, too polished, her smiles timed, her words measured. Mark adored her and I wanted to believe she loved him back. But there were moments, her phone buzzing at odd hours, her quick glances away when I asked about her work trips, the way she'd linger too long with Mark's business partner, David, at company events. I'd rationalized it all: jealous father-in-law, overprotective instincts. My wife, Ellen, would squeeze my hand and whisper, "Let them be happy." But happiness doesn't leave you feeling like a stranger in your own family. That night, as I stared at the bill, my mind raced back to those red flags. The late-night calls Claire dismissed as clients. The way Mark's laughter had dulled over the past year, replaced by a quiet, haunted look. I'd asked him once, over whiskey in my study, if everything was okay. He'd shrugged, said, "Claire's ambitious. It's fine." But it wasn't fine. I saw it in the way his shoulders slumped, the way he avoided my eyes. "Why me?" I asked, my voice low, trembling with something between anger and dread. Claire tilted her head, her expression unreadable. "You've always been intrusive," she said. "Mark and I need space. Pay up and maybe next time you'll respect boundaries." The words stung, but it was her tone, smug, victorious, that twisted the knife. Mark still wouldn't look at me. Ellen reached for my arm, but I pulled away, my heart pounding. After dinner, I found Mark alone in the kitchen, rinsing plates under the harsh fluorescent light. The clink of porcelain against the sink was the only sound. "What's going on, son?" I asked, my voice softer than I felt. He didn't turn around. "It's nothing, Dad." Claire stressed. "Work's been tough." His voice cracked on the last word and I knew he was lying. Not to me but to himself. I pressed. "Mark, if she's hurting you." He spun around, his eyes flashing. "She's not. Just drop it." But his hands shook and I saw it then, the weight of a truth he wasn't ready to face. I wanted to shake him, to demand answers, but the memory of Claire's cold stare stopped me. She wasn't just pushing me out. She was dismantling us, piece by piece. Later in the guest room I couldn't sleep. The bill sat on the nightstand, a taunt. I opened my phone, scrolling through old texts from Mark, searching for clues. Then I saw it. A photo he'd sent months ago, a candid of him and Claire at a gala. David was in the background, his hand on Claire's waist, her smile too bright, too intimate. My chest tightened. I dismissed it then, but now it burned. The next morning I confronted Claire in the garden, where she was sipping coffee, her auburn hair catching the pale sunlight. "I know about David," I said, my voice steady despite the rage boiling inside. Her cup paused midair, but she didn't flinch. "You don't know anything," she said, her voice smooth as silk. "But if you push this, Mark will suffer." "Not me." I froze. She wasn't denying it. She was threatening me. My son's happiness, his heart, dangled in her grip. "Why?" I whispered, the word raw, broken. She stood, brushing past me, her perfume sharp and cloying. "Because I can," she said and walked away. I stood there, the cold seeping into my bones, the truth sinking in. Claire wasn't just betraying Mark. She was orchestrating it, savoring the control. And I, the meddling father-in-law, was her next target. The bill wasn't about money. It was a warning, Stay out or I'd lose my son entirely. That night, I slipped into Mark's study and left the gala photo on his desk, circled in red around David's hand. I didn't sign it. I didn't need to. As I closed the door, my heart broke for him, for the pain he'd face, for the love he'd lose. But sometimes, betrayal is the only way to save someone you love.